Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and I'm Kevin, and this is my coffee. Today I've got a new coffee cup. It's called Pick Your Poison. I bought this. I didn't have this made. If I had it made, it would say Pick Your Miracle. Because I'm all about miracles. I'm all about the good things in life. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to try my coffee now. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Boy, is that just incredible, incredible coffee. Pardon me while I slide off screen here. Sorry about that. So, how is everyone this morning? Today is an exciting day. It is the 30th. It's the 30th of July. Can you believe that? We're getting to the, start of the second half of this year. It's just wonderful. It's incredible stuff that's going on for us. Now, today on this day, 1956, Eisenhower put Medicare and Medicaid into law, which was a great thing. But also on this day, he also put "In God We Trust" into law. So that's on officially on the money and on a lot of other things, which is really cool. Which is really, really cool. Today was also, let's see, what's the last day Frank Sinatra sang with a full band and went on his own shortly after that. He sang with bands again, but he was the headliner. So he was kind of making his separation and building his career. On this day, let's see, I don't think there was any. Oh, yes. One of the most important things is today, this day, it's National Cheesecake Day. National Cheesecake Day. If you have the ability to go out for cheesecake today, absolutely do it. They figured out to be a big celebration in New York, with streamers and banners and a parade and everything else. That'd be cool. A cheesecake parade would be just awesome. Well, today I wanted to extend what we were talking about last week. I wanted to extend what we were talking about last week and go into a few more quotes and, just talking more about this thing called the law of attraction. It states whatever you focus on, think about, read about, and talk about intensely, you're going to attract more of in your life. When we think about the law of attraction, most people think, well, I'm going to get more money, I'm going to get more relationships, I'm going to get more of this, I'm going to get houses, I'm going to get cars, I'm going to get everything. We think a lot about the material things, and we think about the things we're going to get that we want. But the law of attraction also tells us whatever you focus on, think about, read about, and talk about intensely, you're going to attract more of. It doesn't say if you're focusing on and thinking about and talking about, all these cars, money, houses. It doesn't say that specifically. It says just whatever. And that's something to think about. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how the law of attraction works as a law, no matter what's going on, no matter what you're thinking about. Because thinking is influenced by something we call worrying. That's actually thinking. And what we think about when we worry is what we don't want. We think about and talk about, even read about what we don't want. And the worry is the negative stuff. Now, just checking. Oh, Marie, welcome. Good morning. And Larry, good morning to you as well. Another sip of this coffee. Now, this is something I was thinking about and talking about that is what I want. But this law of attraction works no matter what. It's whatever you're thinking about the most. So if you're worrying, if you're thinking about what you don't want, and you think about it a lot, and you talk about it a lot, and there are some of us that do that, aren't there? And we're going to attract that into our lives. And it's funny because we don't want it. But when we go to worrying is kind of like catastrophizing. It's like, okay, what's the worst case? What's the worst case is going to go on here? And we start thinking about it. And we start bringing it into our lives. My mom, God rest her soul, was a great example. She would have been a great case study if I knew this stuff early on and I could have taught her. She'd have things to do or things that she wanted to do or events she wanted to go to. And she would always get so afraid that she's going to miss out. She's going to get sick. Something's going to stop her from getting to these events, from, being with the friends and the family she wanted to be with. And lo and behold, every day, every time, the morning of, she'd wake up and she'd feel sick. She'd be great the whole week before, and not just feel sick. This just wasn't in her mind. She'd have a fever. She'd be thrown up. She'd really be, honest to goodness, sick. But she spent the last 2 weeks beforehand being afraid that she was going to be sick, worrying that she was going to be sick. So that's what this is all about. This law of attraction sounds good on the positive side, but we have to know that it's working in our lives all the time. I was thinking this morning, I was thinking about meds, and I was thinking about, we've come to a point in, we're talking about health care. We do have a lot of medications, and a lot of medications just maintain or just get rid of symptoms. They don't cure, they don't help. But as of the past maybe 30, 40 years, and especially the past 10 years, we talk a lot about preventative medicine and preventative things. And preventative comes in the way of, exercise. It comes in the way of right eating. And it's like yoga and meditation is really big too. But we don't really talk a lot about filling your mind with the positive things. Filling your mind with the positive things. Yes, the body reacts wonderful. The exercise is great for the body. The breathing while you're exercising is even better for the body. And yoga is the same way. In meditation, it clears our mind. So it can help us, but it doesn't really thrust us forward. So we don't talk a lot about filling our mind with positive things. Filling our mind with positive things. And so that's what we need to do. And I think I found an easy way to remember. Happy Cheesecake Day. I didn't see that. I think I found a way to remember with my clients. I tell them, okay, think of what you're thinking about, what you're worrying about, and what's the opposite of that. Try to think of what's the opposite of that and think about that more. Okay, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein said that. I love that. When you're thinking about something, you're imagining it. Whether you're thinking about what you don't want or you're thinking about what you do want, you're imagining it. And if it's the preview of life's coming attractions, so when you're thinking about what you don't want, that's life's coming attractions. You're going to get more of what you don't want. However, if you're thinking about what you do want, if you're thinking of, it's not even material things I'm talking about, it's positive experiences. It's positive experiences. It's feeling good. If you're thinking about, hey, I'm going to have this wonderful positive experience, I'm going to have great experience with my friends or great experience with my family, I'm going to have a great experience coming out of this meeting, I'm going to have a great experience after this happens. If you're looking for the good and you're filling your mind with the good, you're going to increase the odds of getting the good, getting into positive experiences. Yeah. So the idea of positive thought came about many, many years ago. During a lot of books were written in the late 1800s, early and mid 1900s, talking about thinking, grow rich. Talked a bit about positive thinking, but it didn't do so much as in the 70s when Power of Positive Thinking came out by Norman Vincent Peale, and it was a whole movement. And now in this past decade, maybe this earlier, 2 decades ago, in this century, we got positive psychology. And it's really talking about how we need to keep more positivity in our mind. Now, the naysayers, the detractors say, okay, you can't wear rose-colored glasses and ignore the reality of the negative stuff that's out there. And you can't, and you don't. Even with a lot of positivity, you can look at something that's negative out there, and you're not going to ignore it. You're going to handle it, but you're going to handle it with positivity. You're going to handle it thinking and knowing that it's going to work out. You're going to be able to handle it. The worst case is not going to happen. You're not going to think of the worst case, by the way. That's going to be, you're going to think of the best case. What are the best cases that are going to happen? When you start thinking more along those lines, when you start thinking more positive, you're going to have more positive experiences in your life. And that's what we want, right? And I'll say the exact opposite. When you're thinking more negative, you're going to have more negative experiences in your life. We talk about luck. And I think this applies to luck. I think the people who have bad luck have a lot of negative thoughts in their head. I think the people who have good luck have a lot of good thoughts in their head. There was a TV show that decided to do an experiment in the UK. And they found out about this guy in this small town who supposedly had the worst luck of anyone. All sorts of bad things would happen. And they decided, let's give this guy some good luck. And they put everything in front of him as good luck. And starting off with him walking out of his shop and seeing I don't know if it was a 100-pound note or something big like that, right on the ground, right at the doorway. So when he walked out, he looked around, looked left and right, and even looked down a little bit and just walked away. They did this several times. He never found it. They actually did so many things. And then lastly, they had him in a lottery where they staged the lottery that he would win. And first off, he didn't want to have any tickets or buy any tickets and stuff like that because he didn't believe he could win. They talked him into it because it was going to be for a really good cause. And when he found out he won, he just wouldn't believe it. Just ignored it. Just wouldn't believe it. It's amazing. Luck is drawn by us. Luck is drawn by us. So whether we have good luck or bad luck, what would you prefer? If you prefer the good luck, start thinking of the positive things. Get those to fill your mind as much as possible. And how do you do that, Kevin? That might be what you're asking. Well, we have this thing that we grew up with and into adulthood, and we were told often that it wasn't that great. It's called daydreaming. And start filling your mind with the possibilities of what could happen. Possibilities are usually a positive thing. That's why POS is the start of it. I don't know. But there is, when you're worrying about the worst case possibilities. So when I'm talking about thinking about the possibilities, you're thinking about the good possibilities. What could possibly happen that's going to be great? You start daydreaming, start filling your mind with it. Now, this doesn't mean that you're just going to be daydreaming. This doesn't mean that you're just going to be thinking. You're going to sit there and you're going to think and hope it happens. No, what happens when we think a lot about something is our mind gets us to start acting, and we can consciously start acting. We can consciously start looking and start doing things that possibly can bring us to what we're thinking about. So I'm not talking about 100% pure magic. Poof, I don't have to do a thing, just think. In some cases, it works that way, but that's not the way you set out for. That's not the way you set out for. You set out to start thinking about the possibilities. And when you find possibilities that really allure you, you can start working towards it. You can start thinking about them more seriously. What do I have to do to bring this to me? And start having actions. That's the problem. Many detractors of the law of attraction and manifesting have is that they think that all you need to do is just think. And they say that there are people that say, okay, actions need to be done. You need to move towards it. And I'll agree. But I'll also say that the thinking and filling your mind is actually going to eventually get you to start moving towards it. You're going to start acting. Even whether you're aware of it or not. That's how cool our mind is. It does these really cool things. We just have to know it. It does these really cool things whether we like it or not, because these really cool things could be moving us towards the things we're afraid of. These really cool things could be actually getting our attention through migraines and illnesses and bad luck, getting our attention about things we need to work on. It does these really cool things, but sometimes they come out negative. Our mind is the most fascinating thing we have, and we just take it for granted. Don't take your mind for granted anymore. Use it to think about the things that are beneficial to you, and think about things that are beneficial to the people around you as well. There's one thing I don't talk about often enough is, we want to be ecological when we're thinking about what we want. We want to make sure what we want is not going to harm people around us. We want to make sure that what we want is good for us and the people around us, the community, the ecology. That's when we're being truly ecological, thinking about not just us, but our surroundings, including our family, our friends, and other people around us. All right, that has been enough for today. I'm sorry I went a little longer than usual. I am enjoying my cauldron. Thank you, Brenda, for this. And I am enjoying talking about this subject. It is important for us to know. So if you want good things to happen, sit down and write down a list of all the kind of things that you wanted in your life. Maybe you never got them. Maybe you think it's too late. Start writing them down. Stop letting your imagination go to the possibilities, the positive stuff and the possibilities. Let your imagination go there and start filling your mind with more of that than the doubts, than the stuff that you fear that you don't want. Okay, that's it for today. I had a lot of fun talking with you. We had several people on Facebook, and I'm sure we had many more people on LinkedIn and YouTube as well. All right, everyone. Take care and have a great, phenomenal day and phenomenal week. Let me back up and I'll say, I want you to make it that phenomenal day. Make it that phenomenal week. A lot of what I talked about today is the ability to help make it that good. All right, all. Take care. Bye.